Hey, so I want to do a bit of a PSA today and talk about what not to do in your video interviews. And the reason I was thinking about this a lot lately is that I put up a job ad because I was looking for someone for my team, and part of that application process is I ask people to submit a video of themselves just explaining who they are and why they want this position. And somehow a lot of these applications were not great, let's just say. I was kind of surprised by some of the videos that came in and by how bad they were, how much they made me not be very unsure about wanting to give this person an interview afterwards. So it made me realize a lot of people out there still don't know how to do video interviews. And it's such an important thing to learn how to do, because these days more and more employers are either doing video interviews or asking for you to record a short video. And there's still a lot of people out there who are saying, well, I just don't like that. I don't like videos. I'm not good on camera. I just don't like it. And the reason most people don't like it is because it's outside of their comfort zone. So once you know what to do and you know what to avoid and you start practicing, then you'll get comfortable and then it won't be such a big deal. But until then, it's like something people hate doing, and it really sabotages your chances of career success. This is all part of modernizing for the new economy. So it's one of those things, if you're like, oh, I just don't like it, well, then you're staying behind. You're staying in the old way of doing things. Other people are going to get your position, even if they're not as good as you are, just because you didn't modernize your branding. And actually, I had a client who, this happened to her. She was absolutely amazing. She would have done the most amazing job with this company, but she was not comfortable at all with the idea of a video interview. But she went ahead, she recorded it. Unfortunately, she didn't show it to me. She just wanted to get it sent off. She sent it off quickly, and then I saw it and I went, oh no, this is not great. And of course, they turned her down for the job. Luckily, we were able to salvage everything through the hidden job market, and we were able to land her the position after all. But it would have been a smoother process if that video had been on point from the beginning. So I'm going to share with you the don'ts, what not to do of a video interview application. So let me know below if you've had to do any video applications yet, and how did those go? Let me know below. So I have a few notes here on the things that I noticed on the applications I received that I didn't like. And as I go through these, keep in mind, like, I'm a very laid back person in how I run my business and with the people I work with. I'm not the type to be super corporate or to have very to judge people based on kind of superficial things. I'm not really like that, but still, some of these things did make me worried about wanting to hire these people. So imagine a more corporate environment, a more corporate kind of business. These kinds of things would really deter them. So the first one is having music in the background. I had someone submit a video where there was all this music playing, and I love music. And I have pretty eclectic music tastes, but it just made me wonder, why is this person playing music in the background? Why didn't he just turn it off? Like, is he just, recording this and doesn't really care about this, so he didn't bother turning off his music, or what's going on? It was distracting from what he was saying. So turn the music off, and obviously make sure you get into a quiet environment. I feel like this is very obvious, but you would be surprised how few people actually do it. Just make sure there's nothing going on in the background. I know a lot of people are working from home. Sometimes it can be difficult to really have control over your environment, but make an effort for that short video interview or video recording that you're doing. Get yourself somewhere quiet. The second thing I saw were a lot of shaky cameras. So just people, with the camera, what were they doing? They were like, hey, so, hey, whatever. And they were just like shaking everywhere. And I mean, if you can't ideally find a tripod. If you really don't have a tripod, get creative, use some books or something. If that's not possible, then at least hold it extremely steady and practice not waving it around like this, because that's actually something that I saw. Okay, let's get ourselves back on the tripod here. Okay, there we go. Okay, what else? So another thing I saw were people wearing weird stuff. Again, I don't really judge people that much based on the clothes that they're wearing, but there were just very interesting choices of outfits, which just made me feel, I guess, a bit confused. Like, hey, what's the bandana all about? I don't know. Is this someone who's like, I don't know, just some weird choices of outfits that for the very first thing I see of you, it just throws me off, it's distracting. And that being said, actually, I wanted to throw in another tip here, which is to consider wearing something bright. So you can wear red, something that attracts attention. I'm not saying this particular outfit in particular, but if you can wear a bright color to help you stand out from the other applicants. If you try to look too corporate and boring, and you go for the gray, white, blacks, you might just blend in with everyone else, and it makes you less memorable. So don't be too weird, but you can still wear something a bit bright and a bit eye-catching so that they remember your application. And then finally is the choice of content, which is obviously the most important. So this is a big problem I see with so many people in their video applications, which is that either they write this perfect cover letter and they just say it in their video, and maybe the wording is great, but it's like they're reading a script, or they memorize it word for word, and they sit there in front of the camera just kind of saying, hello, my name is, and I would be honored to have this position because I am highly qualified for one thing, and it just seems so unnatural. And if someone wanted you to just be reciting the perfect cover letter, they can read your cover letter. The point of the video, or the point of asking for a video, is to get to know you and get to know your personality, get to know your vibe. So make sure you're really showing your vibe. Obviously, have a couple of bullet points so that what you're saying is targeted. You might want to practice it a few times, but don't lose your essence. Don't lose your personality. And in fact, one thing I realized is when some of the video applications that kind of hooked me were the ones where they introduced themselves with something a bit personal. They told me they have a dog, they told me they have kids, they told me where they live and what they care about and what they do for fun. Obviously, they didn't spend the whole video talking about that, but they mentioned it to kind of orient me and just show me who am I, right? So you do want to make it personal. You do want to make it personable as well. You want to bring your audience in and be natural, but at the same time, you want to talk about what it is that you're going to do for the person in front of you. This is one of the biggest problems I see, not only in video applications, but also in applications overall, is just talking about your experience. Believe it or not, people care about your experience way, way less than all those career counselors and career coaches and your colleagues have been telling you. It's not so much about your experience, it's more about your potential. And of course, you can use your experience to show the potential that you have and prove your potential based on your past experience. But you don't want to spend the whole video just saying, I am so-and-so, and I have X years of experience, and here are all the great things I've done throughout my life, and aren't I so impressive, and so please hire me. Because that doesn't tell me, okay, you're very impressive with everything you've done, but I still don't understand why you're applying to this position in particular and what it is that you're aiming to do for me. And that was one of the biggest gaps I saw in a lot of these video applications. So I hope those tips help. Let me know below if you have had to do a video interview yet, and how do you feel about video interviews in general. And if you feel that your branding is currently behind and you're not modernized for the new economy, that you're starting to fall behind, other people are better branded than you are, and you don't want to miss out on opportunities, then now is really the time to get in touch. Please don't wait around. Please don't think, oh, I'll brand next year, or I'll think about changing jobs next year, but I don't need to worry about that stuff right now. Because you know what happens, and I've seen this with a lot of people I've talked to and some of my clients as well, is they always think it can happen later. They always think, well, my job is safe right now. I'll worry about that stuff down the line. And then guess what? They get made redundant, where something happens in their job. They get a new boss. It's really unbearable. And then it's this rush to try to brand themselves, and they're kind of too late and they're already outdated. And the sooner you do it, the better, because you're building a foundation that you're going to keep building off of. So the sooner you do it, then the more time you have to continue to build. and you don't want to start falling behind. You want to always be up to date. So if you need any kind of help with modernizing yourself for the new economy, get in touch with me right away. Let me know what your situation is, what you want to work on, and I'll see if I can help you. Otherwise, let me know below if you enjoyed this video and how you feel about video interviews. All right. And don't do any of those mistakes. See you next time.